All right, Caroline, you won.
Yeah.
You won the Oscar pool. Everybody listening, Caroline won the Oscar pool.
How many? Who got how many right? Do you have the numbers?
You got 18, I got 17. Ethan got I don't know, 4.
I did not get 4.
Yeah. It feels, in an unpredictable year, it feels nice to have won. It feels exciting.
It was a good match. I think what hurt me? I think I was all in on Demi Moore winning.
You were also in on Wild Robot.
I was in on Wild Robot, even though on record on this podcast I said Flo's gonna win. And then at the last second, I was like, no, because the Cool movie won last year. There's no way the Cool movie's going to win this year, even though Wild Robot is good. So I went with that, and I was wrong. Once again, I let my heart change my brain's decisions.
Listen to your gut. And I listened to mine about Mikey.
Next year, I'm listening to my gut.
Yeah.
I think next year might be Challenger's year. What do you think?
We can only hope. Maybe it's Tom Cruise's year with Mission Impossible.
No, he's doing that Inarritu movie that's going to be his give me an Oscar.
No, that's right. Yeah. I'm into it. Yeah, I don't know. It was an exciting Oscars. I think the minute Sean won editing, it was kind of
we said
it's happening.
We said it on the podcast. For if he wins editing, it's a Nora's night.
It's the 4-4. Yeah, it's the 4-win night.
Yeah.
And it's so fun that a couple months ago, Ethan started a podcast episode by saying, I think I'm going to watch all the movies of Sean Baker. And then he did.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's fun. That's fun that happened to be the Sean Baker year.
And it's not even my favorite Sean Baker movie, but I just kept thinking about the Oscars. Last year, the Best Picture winner was a $150 million half black and white epic starring the A-list stars of Hollywood with all the money in the world given to this wonderkind director, and it made $1 billion at the box office. Old Hollywood. It was an old Hollywood movie, kind of studio movie. And this year was an independent movie that starred nobody except the girl who got flamethrowered in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And that won Best Picture.
And our first Ghostface killer from Scream to have an Oscar.
Yes, that's right. And it's just I just feel from an Oscar perspective, what a good thing for movies. Those two examples. And the year before that, an A24 indie movie, just a lot of good stuff coming out of Oscar results, I think.
It's also a comedy. I love
Yeah.
when a comedy wins
2
Best
comedies
Picture.
in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I just Googled every comedy movie to win Best Picture, and number 1 was Green Book. And I'm like, what? That's not a comedy, is it? He folds up his pizza really funny.
That was really
How does he
funny.
fold it?
Yeah, have you not seen Green Book?
No.
It's legitimately the plot of Green Book is this guy wants to eat a pizza funny.
Can I say something of potentially offensive?
You think Green Book solved racism?
No, I don't. Because I'm only halfway through Green Book, so I don't know if it solved racism yet. Because I watched it on an airplane, and I get so excited to take an airplane to see if it's in the in-flight entertainment, because I kind of really want to see the second half of Green Book.
I'm pretty sure it's on a lot of streaming channels, but you don't want to commit yourself unless you're on an airplane.
It's a whole I'm gonna cry on an airplane. If I'm gonna give this movie a shot, I don't want to see it with
30,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, I don't want to see it with woke friends. I want to see it in an airplane alone on a tiny little screen.
Comedies that have won Best Picture: Green Book, Around the World in 80 Days.
Okay.
Hilarious.
Not the Arnold Schwarzenegger one.
Hilarious
the 1956
movie.
one. No. Gigi, Ethan's favorite movie, Gigi.
I've never seen it.
Do you know the problematic nature of it?
That stars Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck.
No, not G. Lee. No, it's Gigi. It's Vincent Minnelli movie.
Liza
not
Minnelli's
good.
dad.
Yeah, it's not good. There's a song called "Thank God for Little Girls," and it's it doesn't hold up. Tom Jones is a good movie. That's a comedy that
Never
won.
seen that
Shakespeare in Love. I don't know if I'd call that a comedy.
That's a funny movie.
Yeah.
think it's
It is.
comedy?
Ben Affleck's funny.
He is funny.
Going My Way is a comedy I've never seen, directed by I've literally never heard of this movie, and I tried to watch every
Oh.
Oscar movie. This won Best Picture, Going My
Annie
Way.
Hall, of course.
Annie Hall, Terms of Endearment, Chicago.
Terms of
Wouldn't
Endearment
call
is
that a
not a
comedy.
That is
comedy.
not a no.
Not a
I'm
comedy.
On
looking
what
at a list
planet?
online.
Well,
The Artist, that's a comedy. Remember when The Artist won Best Picture?
Ugh,
Ugh.
that dog. When did that dog die?
Hopefully before the first Trump administration. I really
Yeah.
don't want that dog to see what's
They're
happened to
eating the
Europe.
dogs. Sorry. You can't. Frank Capra's You Can't Take It With You.
Yeah.
Mm,
Forrest Gump. That's not a comedy. What is this list?
Forrest Gump's pretty funny.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna quote it right now because
Yeah, I
it's
was waiting for one of you to quote it, but it won't
Caroline's
work.
about to do Bubba's shrimp speech. It's like, stop it, Caroline, stop it.
My Fair Lady. That
Oh,
counts.
classic.
An
Sure.
American in Paris, also Vincent Minnelli.
Sure.
The
Kinda.
Sting.
Yes.
I guess you can call that a comedy.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's
comedy. I think that's a comedy.
Honora for sure. Birdman.
No.
Oh, I forgot Birdman won Best Picture.
Birdman's not a comedy.
Annie Hall, of course, probably the most comedy, other than The Apartment won Best Picture.
Oh, I need to see The
The
Apartment.
Apartment is really good, and there are like funny parts to it, but that is, I don't know if I'd go as far as to call that a comedy. Like, I get it's a Billy Wilder movie with Jack Lemmon, but
Yeah. I mean, it's a funny premise, and like it spawned what? Promises, Promises? Is that the
it's
musical?
Promises,
based on The
but
Apartment?
it is good.
Yeah. Everything Everywhere All at Once, of course.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Frank Capra's It Happened One Night.
Sure.
That's the rom-com that started all rom-coms.
Mm.
Oh, and then this list I'm looking at, which that was a ranking, by the way, of best comedies to win Best Picture. It has Parasite at number 1. I guess you can call that a fun dark comedy.
It
So I
is.
guess comedies
yeah.
have been winning recently, huh?
Comedies are
Parasite,
back.
Everything
Two out of the
Everywhere All
last.
at Once.
If you call Parasite a comedy, I don't know if I'd go.
I mean, I would say a lot of the first before the turn. I think a lot of it is a comedy.
Yes.
Oppenheimer's pretty funny when they're naked sitting in the chairs.
There was actual laughter in my theater at that scene.
I don't even remember that.
When they're in the room and he's getting questioned about if he's a communist, and then Emily Blunt watches him naked banging Florence Pugh.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
great. Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is how you feature women in your movies, Christopher Nolan.
Best Picture.
Wait, so
I
it's
just imagine Christopher Nolan, like that's something that Christopher Nolan, like he put himself in a movie, and that's what him and his wife or partner do, is they just sit across from each other fully naked in a chair and have a conversation.
quote
Oh, yeah.
Indian scripture.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I also think about the fact because doesn't he edit a lot of his movies at the Chinese theater? Like, I imagine him just like watching that scene alone in that massive theater, and like whoever the janitor is coming by being like, what the fuck is he doing in there?
All right, good Oscars. One of the rare years where the right movie won, in my opinion. I know Brutalist has its fans, but I was rooting
That
against it, and
speech-
Caroline hates it.
The speech made me hate it even more than I already did. I mean, the longest speech in Oscar history.
So I started watching it and then read both of you texting about how bad it is, and then I just fast forwarded. I didn't watch the speech.
When he told them to stop the music twice, threw his gum at Georgina Chapman, his girlfriend,
I saw that
ex-wife of Harvey Weinstein. Also, what if he made some weird comment about racism? I don't know. It was just tone deaf. I wish we could have taken the Oscar back, but it is what it is.
Did he talk about racism while speaking in a Jamaican accent
We weren't that
and
lucky.
introducing Shaggy?
We weren't so lucky. I know. But I think I figured out
Wild.
what you both have to do since I won.
What is it?
Okay, I was going back and forth. There was part of me that was thinking, Eli, you needed to do a March Madness bracket because that's starting
Sure,
next week.
I can do that.
And then
Absolutely.
Ethan, I was like, could watch the season 4 finale of Salt Lake City. But I think because Better Man is streaming on Paramount Plus, I need both of you to watch
Okay.
Better Man. Yeah.
I'm on it.
Idea, do you want to have, because we need a March Madness for our podcast. Last year was, of course, March Sisters Madness. What's this year's March Madness going to be? Do we do biopic March Madness?
Well, didn't we discuss, should we go through because Mission Impossible, the new one's coming out? Should we rank the Mission Impossible movies.
I think I already know my ranking.
Should we do a Frederick March Madness? I think he actually is a white supremacist, so maybe not.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what would be another good M. Meryl
Meryl Madness.
Madness.
A March Ruffalo Madness?
Oh, that's fine.
March Ruffalo Madness. Yeah. Okay, that's it. We're doing March Ruffalo Madness. I'll start a bracket. We'll post
I
it
love
online.
that.
And it starts next week. March Ruffalo Madness. Well, speaking of March Ruffalo, both of you have seen Mickey 17, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Ethan saw it first.
I saw a movie in theaters. My in-laws were in town, and me and my father-in-law went and saw a movie in a movie theater.
And what was the mother of your child doing at this time?
She was hanging out with her mother, and they did not want to go to the movie.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And how did that make her feel? I'm a
Glad she
therapist
didn't.
now.
Well, after I gave my review, she did not want to go see this movie.
Yeah, so you didn't like Mickey 17. Tell us
No.
about it.
It was not a good movie. I think that tonally it was all over the place. It got 0 laughs in our theater. Like moments that were supposed to be funny just fully didn't get a laugh. I thought Ruffalo was doing like a pretty bad Trump thing that didn't quite make sense. I thought Pattinson was trying to it just like didn't work. And I don't quite know what the intention of the whole movie was. And I say that as someone who thought Snowpiercer was awesome and liked Okja. So I'm on board with English language anti-capitalist bong movies. This movie just tonally, comedically, it didn't make any sense to me. And I actually think that all of the yeah, it's a pretty good movie is just a bunch of people who are afraid to admit they didn't like it after seeing Parasite, which is a masterpiece. And this movie is actually not good.
Okay. And then I'll say I had a really good time. Our theater was laughing. I love the creepers. I want one. I think they're really cute. The little monster in the movie, they made plushes for the cast and I really want one. I thought it was really cute. It looked like a roly-poly. I wish in the trailer they would have leaned more into the romance aspect of it because I think that was really what got me. I love that in every lifetime he wants to find Nasha. And I think that that's very sweet and poetic. I think Robert's doing I don't know. I think it made me think of I don't know if y'all read that interview with him in GQ during the pandemic where he tried to invent a new pasta dish in the microwave. He it was American Kraft cheese and put it in aluminum foil, put it in the microwave. Of course it broke the microwave and all this stuff, but it just reminded me how weird he is. And I
Yes.
think he's doing something that
Yes.
no one has done before, and I think
Yes.
that was fun, and I already preemptively figured out one of my Golden Krupsha categories for next year because I think 2025 is the year of multiples. I think between this, so he's playing more than one character. Michael B. Jordan is playing cousins or twins in Sinners, and apparently Anthony Hopkins is playing twins in another movie that has
Hell
just
yeah.
come out. So Parent Trap.
There's also a De Niro.
Yeah.
There's a De Niro one coming out too.
So Parent Trapping is back, everybody. Multiples are back.
I didn't buy the romance at all. I feel like there are so many better sci-fi I Always Find You in One Lifetime. It was kind of weirdly disrupted by this whole let's swap twin multiples storyline that didn't
yeah.
ever actually pay off. There were all of these things that actually just didn't pay off. And so yeah, I just don't think it was a really good movie. It didn't really have anything to say other than Donald Trump and fascist capitalists are bad. It's yeah, we know.
No.
They're eating the Mickeys.
That's kind of what he was doing. It was that, and it was, and that last scene in the end with Toni Collette when he's dreaming. What was that? What was that? The movie just did not make it. It just didn't work. It didn't work. Bummer.
They're eating the Okja. That's him in
in
Okja.
Okja. Yeah, it just didn't work for me.
I like that movie.
It was good.
Yeah. I'll check it out when it comes to, streaming. It's a lot of movies I want to see. I want to see Novocaine. I want to see Black
Black
Bag. I do
bag,
want to see
black
Mickey
bag.
17.
I think that they talked about this on the Best Picture, or the Big Picture, but it's a bummer when a movie like Mickey 17, I think, wasn't very good, because I would love more people to try and make movies like that instead of just like IP garbage or The Electric State, like whatever the F that is. But so it's like, I think that people also are like afraid to criticize a movie that isn't that good, but like we want more of, and we want more support for movies like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it was good. At least it was like, I had fun seeing what he wanted to do post Parasite. I think it was like, it's more unique than a lot of other things. Because I go on the AMC app right now, and half of these movies, I have no idea like what they are, like scrolling through. So it was like, it was fun to at least see something. I was like, I see the concept that you're going for. It wasn't perfect, but like I had a good time. And that's, why we go to the cinema, to have a good time.
Well, and then like looking online at reviews, there's Night of the Zoopocalypse is a movie I saw one trailer for and then just haven't heard anything. It's sitting at 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. I bet it's made $0. I've heard a lot about this new Looney Tunes movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up. I heard it's phenomenal. It's sitting at 86%. No one, I don't know who's seeing it. Like I haven't seen the box office stuff, but I'm sure it's not making money.
Do you feel like that's something that you like, in like the parent world, you're like, I'm taking my kid to this?
Yeah, 100%.
Uh-huh.
I am taking my kid to one of those movies this weekend, for sure. But also, my kids don't care about movie theaters. I lived in movie theaters growing up because that's where the big TV is. But now we have a projector downstairs. We have a big TV as well. They have their little iPads and their Switches. And do I spoil my kids? Anyway, they're used to being able to pick and choose what they want. They don't want to go into the mystery of a new movie that maybe they saw a trailer for, maybe they didn't. They want to only ingest the things they know and do it on
Sure.
repeat.
Which I was gonna say, have they said anything about, because like there's been so much controversy about the Snow White coming out next week. Have they said anything about
George
wanting to
wants
see
to
it?
see Snow White.
Okay.
Oh, and what does George think about the situation in Gaza right now?
Uh, well, we every night he asks me my opinions on Israel versus Palestine, and
Sure.
he says he has a plan.
He does.
Yeah,
Wow.
he says he has a great plan to. He said, "How do I feel about golden hotels on the waterfront?"
Is he like team Rachel Zegler, team Gal Gadot? Like, what's he saying about like their
They're eating the
interaction?
Gadot. Sorry.
I will say
Um,
I will say with that, I did know No Other Land won Best Documentary when I saw Gal Gadot was not introducing Best Documentary anymore, because she was supposed to, and everyone online had said, "I hope that No Other Land wins, so Gal Gadot has to intro," and then she was conveniently moved to, like, visual effects.
Wow.
I have an important thing to bring up.
Say it.
We got our first, well, not our first, but we got our first in a long time listener email.
Ooh.
It came
Say
directly
it.
to me for some reason. And it says they like the podcast, but they
Okay.
miss a specific feature of the
Oh
podcast.
no, don't make me
Oh,
watch more
no.
movies.
Wait,
They miss
Eli, did you write this
Ethan's
email?
no. They miss Ethan's reluctant review, and what a great week to say this, because a new movie's coming to Netflix called The Electric State,
Oh no.
starring Billy Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt, directed by the Russo brothers.
Oh.
Hi, Ethan.
Yeah, I'll do it. I watched The Gorge. I should have taken notes during The Gorge.
Did we make you watch the movie Reagan last year? I forget.
No.
No, I think we threatened.
That's on
Yeah,
that's on my
good.
running
I'll watch The
tab.
Electric State.
Okay, thank you.
Y'all, I
hope
watched The
you
Gorge.
love
Did
it.
you watch The
Yeah.
Gorge?
No, I didn't watch The
No.
Gorge.
It
What
is.
Was it awesome?
What is it about?
It's about a gorge,
Okay.
It is the number one movie if you could get high and laugh every time they say the word "the gorge." It would be the best movie of all time. Unfortunately, I watched it very sober, and Miles Teller is bad at acting. What happened?
It was around the time he was dancing for the Grateful Dead at their, like, Kennedy Center
Oh,
honors.
yeah, I saw that.
It was like mid-dance,
There
all
is
of his talent went
there
away.
is there's a part of the gorge that I will tell you about. So you know how they're on opposite towers of the gorge, and they have to kill the zombies that live in the gorge, and they're falling in love from
Sure.
opposite towers where
Sure.
there's a gorge in between. There is a part when they, like, have binoculars, and they do 2 things together. This is like a montage scene. And the first thing they do together is that they play a game of chess. Mind you, Anya Taylor-Joy is in this movie, and they're playing a
Sure.
game of chess. And the second thing they do is they construct a drum set. Both of them construct a drum set, and then they play drums together on different towers in the gorge. And what is this, like, Whiplash Queen's Gambit nonsense happening in the gorge? We just want gorge. We want gorge things. We don't
We
need.
want gorges! We don't want this.
We don't want this.
Have
It's a
you ever
bad
heard of the
movie.
movie I'm looking at movies coming out soon. Have you ever heard of the movie Ash?
Yeah,
Apparently
it
it's a
got good
movie
reviews with
starring Aaron Paul. It's getting amazing reviews.
yeah.
What is it about?
It's about Ash.
Okay. I know the
Just gotta catch them all.
Yeah, the one penguin movie that seems to be coming out every year is coming out soon that I've seen trailers for. The Penguin Lessons.
Yeah, that actually premiered last year. At one of the festivals.
Is it just a
Uh,
remake of The Piano Lesson, but instead of
No,
Denzel
it's
Washington's kids, it's penguins?
Yeah, Mr. Piano's Penguins.
I wish. No, it's based off a true from what I've seen in the trailer, the 2 times I've seen the trailer, it's based off a penguin that showed up in Argentina, and then he takes it to school, and the kids, like, suddenly become interested in learning because of the penguin.
Love it. I love learning.
Into it.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Jonathan Pryce.
Snow White's coming soon. The Minecraft movie is coming soon, which could be a Ethan's Reluctant review in the future. Have you taken your kid to a movie yet at the theaters?
No, she's only 8 months old.
So a Minecraft movie might be a good start.
It's a
The
little bit
Amateur, which
below
is a
her.
movie I want to see more than most movies ever made. That's the Rami Malek is like the
I
IT
saw the
guy for
trailer
the
for
FBI.
that at
Oh,
Mickey
yeah.
17, and I turned to my father-in-law and I said, "I cannot wait for a night that my wife goes and does something else, and I eat a solo pizza and watch The Amateur." That is the exact place that I wanna be watching The Amateur.
There's a Kristen Stewart, Michael Cera movie coming out called Sacramento. There's, of course, Sinners.
Can't
There's a
wait.
lot of Lilo and Stitch live action. That could be
I will say that one has the potential to be a good live action because the Stitch is cute, and I've seen the girl that plays Lilo, and she's very, like, charming and, like, a good kid actor in interviews.
Can I go back to Sinners for a second?
Always. I wanna talk about Michael B. Jordan every second. Let's go.
If Sinners is not good, where does Ryan Coogler stand?
He hasn't made a bad movie. I didn't like the last Black Panther, but it's still a well-directed movie.
Yeah,
I
under
don't think
impossible circumstances.
I think it could be a blank check movie. It doesn't matter if it bounces or not. He'll be back.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's gonna be amazing. I'm excited. Did y'all read about Michael B. Jordan's redoing the Thomas Crown Affair?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And he's-
cool.
And that's
he's
like
going
perfect casting.
and he's gonna direct. He's directing
Great.
and starring. Yeah,
Love
I
it.
can't wait. I love
Uh,
everything he does.
And then the last movie I wanted to highlight is Ballerina from the John Wick universe. And the thing is, like, I love every John Wick movie ever made, although Novocaine looked really good. I also love Nobody. Like, I like those kind of movies. And Ballerina on paper should be good. But then I look and it's directed by Len Wiseman. Other than my favorite Paul Thomas, who am I trying to say? Who's the guy who does him on Comedy Bang Bang? Paul F. Tompkins. Other than like a great Paul F. Tompkins impression that he does on Comedy Bang Bang, he has directed some of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, Len Wiseman. We're talking Underworld, Underworld Evolution, Live Free or Die Hard, Underworld, Rise of the Lycans, Underworld Awakening, Total Recall, the remake, Underworld Blood Wars. I feel like we have that's so many great Ethan Reluctant Review movies just sitting there waiting for you.
Caroline, have you seen any of the John Wick movies?
No, we talked about this. Because they were talking about it on Running Point, they made a joke about it that I was like, maybe I think it's I haven't seen a lot of Keanu Reeves movies. I don't know why. He's just never really, like, appealed to me.
Oh,
I've seen him
Caroline.
in, The Lake House and Always Be My Maybe. But
He's great
And
in
you've
that.
seen The
he's
Matrix,
great.
right?
No, I've seen Laura Marsh's Matrix musical.
Okay, you only have to watch the first Matrix, and then maybe you'll like it. But
But, like, Point Break, Caroline, if there's ever a movie that will pass your 2 men need to kiss test,
Yeah.
it is Point Break it invented that category of movie.
Is that the one
I
with
agree.
Patrick Swayze?
Yes.
Okay, 'cause, that's the one I get confused with Backdraft, because I thought that was also
No,
but, yeah.
that's that go ma make Jared watch Point Break with you this weekend, and
Yeah.
I promise you, you're gonna be obsessed with this movie. Catherine
Okay.
Bigelow directed it. It's unreal.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, you'll
Okay.
love that movie. I think you would like the John Wicks if you can get over, like, the thing that kicks off everything is a dog dying. But I think, like, Michelle, my wife,
Yeah.
loves the John Wick movies.
Okay.
When you give a when like, you have to give yourself away to all the violence and the blood and realize
Oh,
that
yeah.
realize it's a musical. That's what
Okay.
these movies are.
Yeah.
They're dance sequences.
Y And as a fan of Mission Impossible, like, you will like these movies. They're
Okay.
the R-rated Mission Impossible movies.
Okay. Alright, I'm open. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just haven't done them. Yeah. But
Will Ethan see The Electric State? Will Caroline see any Keanu Reeves movie that is not a rom-com at a lake house?
Will Eli turn himself in to the FBI for his whereabouts on January 6th, 2021?
and will he become a monkey after a Better Man?
Oh, yeah, will he give a monkey a hand job?
I will say also the fun thing that loops back from Better Man to Anora is the song that's in the movie in Anora, the big one, is by Take That, which is the band that Robbie Williams was in, and they performed at the BAFTAs.
Will he give a monkey a
Yeah,
hand
hand
job?
job.
He might.
Why?
We'll find out.
We'll find
We'll
out.
find out next week
I'm not saying no.
on
Many people are saying he might.
Our Twitter is coming in, and they're saying 70% likely.
Yeah.
70%
whacking the
odds.
hand jobs. They're whacking the monkeys. All right.
If you can't tell, we had no agenda for this.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.